People in Florida and South Georgia are bracing for the hurricane.
Everybody was scared. Everybody was leaving.
Is this gonna hit us? What's gonna happen here?
The waves are so high, very dangerous conditions.
Getting people through minute by minute.
We had watched from afar what was going on in Texas.
This is not going to be 5 feet of rain. This is going to be high winds. It's going to be a tornado threat. It's a whole different story.
150 mile per hour winds, and it is still about 500 miles wide.
Virtually all of the state of Florida will be affected by this storm.
A hurricane shelter in Pasco County is filled to capacity already.
It is an enormous undertaking to cover a storm like Irma.
In a crisis, it's time to communicate to your community because you might be the only thing they have.
We are, I believe, incredibly instrumental in getting everybody prepared.
Without creating this hyperbole that we're trying to avoid.
Our newsroom was getting a bunch of calls.
People were wanting to know, do I need to evacuate?
What shelters are full?
Am I in a flood zone? Where can your pets go?
Management decided, let's form a phone bank.
And our team is here to answer those questions.
We were telling people, that this is available if you need help and you don't know what to do. Everybody was picking up a phone because they knew that our viewers needed to know that vital information.
Now, what's interesting in our area is we have a very large Hispanic population.
Our program director on Maximum Neo stepped up tremendously to serve the Hispanic audience.
This is so crazy. Las ráfagas alcanzan hasta 160 millas por hora.
And I think he had his finger on the pulse of what his audience wanted to know.
It's just a continuous river of information that I was gathering from television stations. I would translate that information and provide it to the audience.
Now at noon, a hurricane watch is now in effect for South Florida and the Keys.
We saw the storm make the turn, and it was heading north now towards the Florida Keys.
As you know, if you've been to the Keys, it's just at sea level, essentially. If you bring a 15 to 20 foot storm surge, it doesn't take much of a mathematician to figure out what's going to happen there.
As Hurricane Irma was moving toward the Keys, we were in the wrong spot. And those outer rain bands spun up tornado after tornado after tornado.
And there was a 56-minute period where there was 9 or 10 tornadoes that were flying through South Florida at a rapid pace.
We would zoom in and show the streets.
Let's take it in street level. We want to give you the specifics.
If I say your street, you should be in your safe room.
In that moment, your personal health and safety are also extremely important when you're out in the field.
We had more than 20 of our reporters, meteorologists, even sports people out in the field to try to give people an idea where this storm was, how it was going to affect their lives, and when it would arrive.
I'm going to move forward away from those power lines.
The wind at that point was just sustained hurricane force. As soon as it made landfall and I was getting closer, we were starting to get those bands with gusts that were knocking me off my feet.
And it's about to hit right now. Woo!
So for me, if I can show myself out there, there's nowhere else I would rather be than covering a hurricane to let our viewers know what's happening.
With a hurricane, even though you know it's coming, the effect of it is devastating.
Once the weather portion is past, it's then let's assess the damage, let's see what Irma left behind.
Those things you take for granted, all of a sudden you don't have. All of a sudden you're a caveman.
It was great to see the community kind of coming together.
People in Bradenton, they're going to be happy to hear this.
In the days after, our mission was to show the places that had the resources and help them get their message out that they were open and available to help people who needed help.
If you need something, you got a store for you guys.
Some guy opened up his hot dog stand.
As much hot dogs as we can get out, we're going to have them, sent out.
So people who needed a hot meal could go to his hot dog cart. You knew what you were doing was so important. Nothing was too little. We could not give them enough information. In the Keys, radio was king. It was everything.
All the cell phones were out. So the only thing we had left were really 3 landlines in the Keys. The radio told me where I can go pick up water.
Where's the FEMA?
What is the status of power?
If you didn't have that, it would have been total chaos.
If you go back into what broadcasting is really for and the live and local aspect of broadcasting, it is to serve your local audience.
It's a relationship with our community of trust. They rely on us.
And I think that this storm was proof to a lot of people in our community that we're here for them and we're trying to give them an accurate portrayal of what's going on.
We set a new standard for how to cover these storms.
I think we did what the viewers needed. They wanted to be safe.